Hello everyone, my name is Jolly Green and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Through the Ages. Today we are still in the Infdev version of Minecraft, and today hopefully is going to be the last day in this version. We only have two more things to cover, but they're both doozies, so we're in for an adventure today. So the big thing that we're going to do today is we are going to journey to the Farlands. So for those of you that don't know, the Farlands is it's land that's far away, more or less. So essentially, when you go far enough in a Minecraft world, rumor has it that the terrain generation gets very buggy to the point where it's essentially broken. And when I say far away, I mean like a couple million blocks out. So, like I said, we're in for quite the adventure. I think we can do it, but I think I'm about ready. I did want to grab just enough cobblestone to make a furnace so we can cook up this food as we need it, but I've got some bows, and I think I'm ready for this adventure today. You know, I think instead of actually grabbing cobblestone, I'm just going to steal this furnace from my kitchen here. So the first thing that we have to do is decide which direction to travel. Where boats aren't in the game yet, going this way is going to start off rather difficult. I imagine we're going to hit an ocean no matter which direction we go, because we're going to be traveling quite a ways, so there will be some swimming involved. But I think for now, you know, which way is the sun coming up? Do we see the sun? Let's get a grasp of our directions here. It's actually going down this way. So, I mean, we could follow the setting sun, go off into the sunset. I actually think it's going to be smarter if we just wait this first night out, and then come the morning, maybe I'll probably still travel this way. Put the sunrise to our back and head off, see what we can find. As the sun rises over the hill here, we're going to start our journey. We're going to put the sunrise to our back and walk in this direction here and just keep on going until we hit the Farlands. With any luck, we won't die, and we're going to make it there eventually. I believe the Farlands are about 12 million blocks out, in which it's going to take a while, but I think we'll get there. We do have a couple things that are making this journey a little longer than if we were to do it in today's Minecraft. First of all, we can't sprint. This is as fast as we're going to go. Not only that, but every time we come across an ocean like this, it slows us down even more. We can't make a boat, so this is as fast as we can travel in water. And to top it off, we can't even make a bed yet, so we are just hiding in a hole, waiting for the night to pass. So it's definitely taking a bit longer than anticipated. So I'm going to continue my westward journey into the sunset, and while I do, we're going to actually cut to some clips where we discuss some other structures that were only in the game for a very brief period of time. Enjoy. Alright, so while that poor sap travels 12 million blocks away, good luck with that, like it's going to happen, we are going to go back a couple versions. As you can see, we are in an older version than we were just playing in, and let's just show off just a couple additions that really didn't last long. They lasted maybe a month at most, but that first of which is this wall of obsidian. This bad boy travels right along the 0 axis for both X and Z and meets right at 0, 0 in the middle. So as of right now, where we don't have any source of viewing our coordinates, this is not a bad way to be able to do that. I mean, it's not great because now we have this wall of obsidian that we need a diamond pick to break. But ooh, it actually had its sounds. I'm glad that we have the sounds working for this. But that's not the only kind of quirky addition that was added for this. And as you can see in this version, we actually start out with some glass and some wood as well. But I believe if we travel this way, we should come across a structure that is even rarer than today's woodland mansions. And here we are approaching it now. These are the brick pyramids. Lasted for just a couple updates here. And while they are rarer than the woodland mansions, they are a lot easier to find. And that's because every world in this current version and the next couple generate these in the same exact spot. There are a few of them that generate. I'll probably put the coordinates on the screen here now. But it is a solid brick pyramid. And actually, if we throw together a crafting table with all the wood that we spawned in with, one thing I did find that was super interesting is there's currently a bug in this version where there's no entities. So that means if I drop a piece of glass, and see, if you look down, the count is going down, but nowhere is there glass to pick up. And same for like breaking blocks, dirt, nothing. But if we bust through here, so as you can see, it's just solid brick. So if we were able to pick up blocks, this would be the only way to get brick currently in this game. But unfortunately with that bug, we can't even pick it up, which makes this structure just a giant eyesore. Hi there. I'd like to just take a second to share with everybody something I just had the unpleasant experience of learning the hard way. So as you can see down there, we have a puddle of water, right? And as anybody who's played Minecraft for any length of time knows, when you jump into water, you don't take fall damage. Well, have I got news for you. Oh. What the heck? Okay. What? See me trying to prove a point and proving me wrong? So, on my journey, shortly after I got myself unfrozen from my state of my last clip, I found myself on top of a mountain and saw a puddle at the bottom and said, you know what, I'm just going to jump in that puddle since I won't take any fall damage. I did exactly what I just showed you, landed in the water, and died. So, apparently it doesn't always take the fall damage, and you know what, just for experiment's sake, let's do it again. All right, here we go. This time I'm going to try to still land in the water, but land in one of the not quite so deep spots. Okay. Why did I die? After many in real life days of just traveling into the sunset, the unimaginable happened. Here I was, minding my own business. I had gotten to a lake much similar to this one, and then I had to get up from the computer, so I stopped paying attention but forgot to pause it. When I came back, I don't know if I got pushed into the water by a mob or what happened, but I had come back to a death screen. It had said that I had drowned, which in all honesty is one of the worst ways to die when you're trying not to die, because I had everything in my power I could have done to not allow that to happen, but I just wasn't paying attention. So this is essentially what it looked like. So after that happened, I was devastated. Obviously, after traveling many days, I thought that I had to have been close, right? Like 5 solid days of gameplay of just traveling and traveling and traveling in one direction. I must have been close. No. I checked the game files, and I was at 74,000 blocks from the middle, from 0-0. The far lands are at 12 million blocks out. So let's just take a look at this in a calculator. If we take 74,000 and divide that by 12 million, we were 6% of the way there. 6% after almost a week's worth of gameplay. So I wasn't about to do that again. It would take me a month to put out this video if we were just going to be walking to the far lands. So I started doing research. And in my research, I came across this program here, NBT Explorer. What this does, I don't know, I'll try to remember to link it in the description below, but you can open up the world files. These are all my world files. If we come down here to the level.dat and open up the data, we can see we have the player folder here that basically stores all the information for the player in the world. So being able to edit these files has now given us the ability to change where the player is. We could even change our items in the inventory just by kind of going into here and changing the ID number to the item that you want. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do this a bunch because I do want this series to be about the features of the game. And this is not really a feature of the game. This is a way to edit it. So I just really wanted to get to the Farlands. Like that was what I wanted this video to be about, because this is the update that brings the Farlands to the game. So after plugging in a coordinate of a little over 12,500,000, I believe, on the Z-axis here, it did what I thought I wouldn't be able to do. I thought I was going to have to scrap this whole video up to this point because I wasn't going to be able to deliver on what I wanted the video to be about.
So here we are. And as you can see by my whopping 0 frames per second up in the top left-hand corner here, my computer doesn't like it. But we are at the Farlands. This is what you see when you approach the Farlands. It's a gigantic wall, more or less. Looks like a chunk loading error. Because, I mean, more or less that's what it is. It's an error loading the terrain. But I can't hang around in here for much longer. It looks like there's void down there, so I think our fastest way to get back home is to just die and respawn right on the beach outside the home. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm either going to drown or fall into the void, whichever happens, I'm fine with. But let's struggle through these 0 frames per second, and we'll take a trip down here.
Like I'm just gonna slowly wait to drown again. Fun. I'll meet you back at the house for the last update that we need to go over. Now that we've arrived safely back home, there's just a couple things I need to grab before we can start our next adventure today. So we are gonna need a couple pickaxes, a few shovels, but most importantly, we're going to need some sand. Probably won't need that much, but we'll grab it just to be safe. And it looks like that should do it. And the reason that we need sand is because the last addition to this version of the game can only be found rarely in the dungeons that we first saw last episode. So we need to find dungeons, and we need to find a lot of them to be able to try to find what we're looking for here. So we're going to use an old school method to try to locate the dungeons here. We're going to stand halfway between these 2 blocks, and then we're going to drop sand on our head. Oh, we're going to try not to take too much damage. Yeah, here, we can get that sweet spot, right, where we're in the block, but not taking damage. Then we can see, like, over way on the left-hand corner here, you can see my stairway down with the mine rails. And we're not seeing really what I'm looking for. So essentially what we're looking for here is going to be a kind of a box shadow in the terrain that looks like just a kind of a square cave, more or less, or cube cave. And that is more than likely going to be our dungeon, because they generate naturally with very, very cube-like structures, but I'm not seeing any here. So I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to probably check the surface a few areas here to see if we can find one that we can just kind of spot from up here and then dig down to it, so we're not wasting a bunch of time just digging aimlessly. So I'll check back in with you if I spot what I think is going to be a dungeon doing this x-ray trick. All right, I believe we found what we're looking for. So I know it's going to be hard to see. I'll try to brighten it up if I can, but right down here in the bottom left-hand corner in that big shadowy area, I could definitely see some mossy cobblestone in there, and that is a sure indicator of a dungeon. So that is perfect. And actually, up towards the surface, right under where those sheep are walking, I think there's another one. So we'll have to check that out too. I think our best bet is to go over by those sheep. It looks like that one is really close to the surface. Let's go over there, start digging, and see if we can find at least one of these dungeons. We'll probably hit them both up, because I doubt we're going to find what we're looking for in the first dungeon that we hit up. I went ahead and made myself a sword, as well as got back to full health. I don't have any extra food, but we should be okay. We're just going to come down here, and I'll lay down some torches real quick to prevent more mobs from spawning and raid these chests. Hopefully we can do it without dying. Looks like that's going to turn it off. Pretty boring chest overall there. And that's it. Just a boring chest. Alright, so I managed to make my way over to that second dungeon that we spotted. Let's get it torched up so we don't get any skeletons spawning on us. And they're both skeleton spawners. That's handy. I wonder if we can get close enough to activate them both. This chest doesn't have what we're looking for. But does this one? No. Okay. So it looks like this journey's going to continue on for a little bit longer. We gotta keep searching for these dungeons until we find what we're looking for. Okay, here we go. So we're at what I believe to be dungeon number 18. Oh, I should be used to this by now. Strand, torch. We almost died. Let's eat this pork chop. All right. So as I was saying, dungeon number 18. We've got it all lit up now. Let's see what our spoils say. Okay, pretty standard stuff. So I mean, what you're looking at in my inventory is about what we can get in these loot chests with the addition of wheat as well. But I've been making my wheat into bread, so we have something to eat here. Speaking of which, let's eat a little bit more. And yes, finally. Okay, this is what we've been searching this whole time for, is the legendary golden apple. Right now there is a recipe to make one, but it requires 8 blocks of gold as well as an apple, which is unobtainable in the game as of right now. So this is a rarity to be had for sure. So we're going to make our way back home, and we'll finish up the video. All right, everyone, that's all we have time for today. And actually, as you can see, I was able to import my skin. So no more Steve skin. I got this green head to look at. So we are going to call it today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave it a like. It actually took me a lot longer to make than I was expecting it to. That's why it's a couple days late. I kept running into roadblocks, and I honestly almost gave up on it a couple times. But we stuck through and got it out to you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe over here and over on my Twitch channel. Links will be down in the description below. And with that, stay jolly.